Awesome. So today I've got Jinesh with me, and Jinesh is a business owner based in California, and we've been working together for the past 6 months now. And what's not impressed me is just the result side of things, which we'll come on to, but more the mindset and the consistency which he's shown, especially when he's been traveling as well. So firstly, Jinesh, thank you for coming on board and sharing your experience.
Yeah, thanks, Nicole. Happy to. Really appreciate all your help over the last 6 months.
So
Happy to be part
let's
of this.
Thank you. And so let's kick it off with, and so before we started working together, what frustrated you the most about where you were at?
Yeah, I think the I was trying to lose weight and get healthy and uh, get rid of the belly. That was like the biggest thing. And I did different workouts and tried to eat right and all that, and it just didn't seem to work. I've lost 20 pounds before, but I never got to the point where I can say, okay, I got rid of the belly completely. And so that was kind of the biggest motivator. And when I did my body scan, I realized like, okay, even after being well in the green zone in the weight, it's still I had a high percentage of body fat and less lean mass. And as I age, lean mass goes down. And so it's like, okay, I do need to change something. So that was the focus.
Yeah, and you were already training, you were already tracking your health, you had the trackers and everything. So what did you feel was missing before?
I think it's the combination of everything, right? It's kind of holistic look of uh, okay, I needed to have calories limited to certain amount. I had to have those 4 workouts in a week. Had to be in that regimen as far as making sure that I was eating right amount of protein. I think the biggest change was the amount of protein. I was way under on my uh, personally what I was doing, and so that increase in protein was essential. I felt like, and so yeah, I think all of that in terms of the workouts, the diet, and then just maintaining the consistency. So.
Yeah, exactly. And what made you decide that now was the right time for you to pursue this next level?
Um, I guess I kind of look at it as milestones. When I turned 40, I kind of tried to get a little healthier. I was turning 45, so I like, okay, yeah, just making sure that I get healthier than before and make sure I kind of make that commitment and make a change. And personally, this was a good year for me in terms of the work and everything to commit some time and stay with it. And so it's like, yeah, this was the time to do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you came into it. And what was the biggest mindset shift that helped you get these results?
Yeah, I wanted to do it, right? It was like, hey, this is something I want to do it, so I have to kind of stay consistent and initially it was harder in terms of with the calorie deficit and falling asleep and stuff, getting body to get used to it. You had to like, okay, let's just stay with it. And it's eventually going to happen and keep seeing the results week over week, looking that it's working, kind of motivated you more that, yes, I'm heading in the right direction. It's working. And so let's stay with it. So,
Yeah. And I guess you tried different things in the past, and what did you learn about yourself during this process that maybe even surprised you more than you would have expected?
um, yeah, I think the biggest part I was thinking is like, hey, it's very means I had to work on the apps or work on the my uh like stomach somehow to get rid of the fat or something. But yeah, it was just about everything else then to make sure that it was really that was the last thing that was going to go, and I had to stay consistent with everything else to get to that point. And that was my biggest surprise. In the past, I was like, why is it not happening? I'm on calorie deficit, or I'm not eating as much. Why is belly not going away? And it's a yeah, it was more of a short-term thing I kept looking at, and this was kind of a long game that you had to be consistent and be patient to get to that point, right? So,
Yeah, exactly. The thinking long term, it changes our relationship and the process as well. And
yeah.
on well, one of the things dietary wise, as in vegetarian, no eggs. So how do you feel your relationship with food has evolved over the last 6 months?
Means eating healthy was kind of, I always enjoy salad. I enjoy eating like uh, good vegetarian food. So the biggest change is really kind of finding out the protein sources. And yeah, I think the surprise for me was the dense food like nuts and stuff, limiting that, and then calorie dense food, and then uh, even I beans, I thought there is more protein, but realizing that beans had more carbs than protein. And so truly finding high protein sources of vegetarian options was kind of a big change in my thought process, because in the past I would like, hey, I have a bean salad. It's mostly protein, but no, it's not really, right? And so so kind of figuring it out is like, okay, what is actually true protein consumption compared to the overall calorie, and what are those truly protein dense food, and then how do I get that variety? And so yeah, that's been kind of the big change. And then even eating out, now getting into habit of finding places that has those protein options, and with veggies, and making sure I stay with that. So. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. And what did you stop doing that had previously been holding you back?
Um, Alcohol was one. Definitely, I was drinking more than I. It wasn't helping essentially in terms of losing weight, so I had to reduce the consumption, not completely stop it, but reduce it to get to the point. And so that was one area that I had to make a change. Um, I think in just terms of consistency in sleep, trying to sleep at the right time, and get good night's sleep and stuff was another one. I wasn't being consistent in the past in terms of my schedule and all that. And so I tried to get that consistency as far as the sleep and the rest, and focusing on that rest period so that body can actually um, do the work to get to where I wanted to get to. So
Yeah. So pretty much the alcohol, the the sleep and the recovery, like that plays a big part. Active recovery, not overtraining. That's a big one as well.
yeah.
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 What did you find easier than you expected through the process?
Um, the I think the workout was easy. I wasn't uh yeah, I was doing workouts, strength training before, so it felt like the workouts were relatively easy. It wasn't too difficult to do in terms of what's expected of. It's just the slow down was the one that kind of I had to get used to, or still getting used to it, right? In terms of the reps, but in general, doing the workout, I enjoy doing it, and so that was the easy part, where it's hard to miss a workout because it's kind of part of the lifestyle. And so um and then yeah, I think after I got to reducing, now it's like I can see my stomach has shrunk, and I don't feel the need to eat, and I kind of stay in that same weight range, where even if I'm trying to now gain muscle, it's harder to actually increase weight now, because just body is used to what I actually need. And so yeah, I think it's definitely once you hit the target, it got easier in terms of what I want to do. So.
Yeah. And then walk us through now the actual results which you achieved over the last 6 months.
Yeah, so I think the big thing for me was reducing the belly and then eventually gaining muscle or increasing muscle mass and then VO2 max, most of the health span indicators. And so yeah, we worked on the belly part. That was the first thing, is like reducing. And so I think, yeah, when I first did the measurement, it was like 35 some inches, and then the last week's measurement came down to 29, and so yeah, about 6 inches of belly that I was able to get rid of. So that was definitely a big part, and kind of going along with it, improving posture and everything else. And so and you can see on the face and everywhere else in terms of like, yeah, the fat has pretty much gone away. Uh, to the point people worry about me. It's like, you're too skinny, but it's that's that's part of the Indian culture. People don't like being too skinny, so it's like, yeah, they have to be okay with it. So uh, but yeah, and then now slowly working towards the gaining muscle mass and then improving the VO2 max. I think there's slight improvement already on the VO2 max in the last 5 months. I can see it, just a matter of making it even better. So,
Yeah. And then what would you say you're most proud of yourself over the last 6 months?
um, yeah, I think the hardest one was the that getting to that flat stomach, or getting rid of belly. And so yeah, that's, I would say, I'm most proud of, to get to that point, because uh, yeah, it's not something that I see a lot of people can do or can get past their 40s. And so I feel like, yeah, that was and I tried from my, think 25 onwards, probably I had the belly, and I tried several times, and it just never worked. It wasn't a disciplined approach. And so now I feel like, yeah, that was definitely the biggest achievement. So.
Yeah. So pretty much 20 years later, when you looked at the DEXA scan, how did it feel when you actually saw the change in the body composition? Because I've got the stats in front of me. Went on from 38 pounds of fat mass to 19 pounds. That's pretty much half. That's substantial. How did that feel when you saw the numbers for real?
Yeah, no, it did feel good, definitely. It kind of means when you put in the effort and you see the results, it's kind of like, yes, that's a great feeling to have. And even the guys, like, I haven't seen anybody in 6 months. What did you do in 6 months? Such a big change. It's like I was original score from C minus or C something to A minus. It's like, yeah, this type of change typically take years to make. And so it was like 5+ months when I did it again, and they're like, yeah, that was impressive. So yeah, definitely it felt good to see the actual results. So
That's good. And this transformation that's happened, how has this impacted how like you feel inside, like more confidence wise?
um yeah, definitely there is a more energy, I would say, in terms of kind of work and everything else. I feel a little means less stressed at times about small stuff, and kind of again, it just gives you like, hey, with all the frustrations you have outside in the work and stuff, like, hey, we have some good things going, so I don't need to be stressing out about all the other stuff, right? I'm healthy, I'm doing well personally, and so kind of help me calm a little more, um, and yeah, again, I think people see the difference as well, so they can see that, hey, I'm putting in the work and I'm staying healthy, so it helps inspire others as well. So,
And on that last question, really, how has this changed the way you've shown up in business, in your leadership position, at home, family, daily life?
um, it's definitely it's noticed. It's a again, I think I feel like the command presence has improved in terms of how it was before to now with with little more confidence. So um, it's definitely been and you can see people around you kind of appreciate you a little more in terms of especially on the newer project where they don't know me. It's easy to establish a uh, a positive impression up front when you are when you feel confident, and so definitely has helped in terms of the newer projects and with newer clients. So
Yeah,
yeah.
awesome, cool. And then one last question too before we wrap up is if somebody was watching this right now, they were in a similar position to you, maybe a few months back, what is it that you would suggest to them?
Yeah, I think you want to make sure this is something you want and you're ready to put in the work. It's a yeah, with your help, it's doable. Just have to be committed to put in the work and the effort and to be consistent. You are there to answer any questions and make sure that you help with the consistency, accountability, and so. But yeah, the biggest thing is you have to be committed. If you're not in it for really whatever it takes, it's gonna be hard. And so just make sure you're fully committed, and then yeah, with your help, it's definitely doable. So,
Yeah, awesome, perfect, Jinesh. Well, thank you, and yeah, thanks for sharing your insights over this journey then.
all right, thank you.